Was I even there? I don't even know. For now, the number of members needed for the club had been reached, and the vice president left the garage. Together with Kaneko. The rest of us continued to look at the photograph that Katori had brought. It's not that bird of a sky! But these clouds are very unusual shape. Yeah, I've never seen clouds look like this before. Me neither. These clouds appeared before you or I were born. Before we were born? What on earth is this photograph? It was a really beautiful photograph. However, it was the same as the pictures in the old photo albums. Ugh. The sort that you would take to the photo shop to have developed and was printing on the paper with logos on the back. The reason why I'm talking so slowly is because I am hot as a friendship. Oh god. The phenomenon is also known as morning glory. Okay. I won't say anything. Only because under certain conditions. Morning glory. Morning glory! It's a path of clouds in the sky several kilometers long. A path of clouds like this several kilometers long. It's a very rare phenomenon that the most recent occurrence was 20 years ago. The Soaring Club members at the time flew in the glider and took this photograph. Wow, so that means... This photo was taken in Kazagura? Yes, it was. Was the one who took the photo of the, one of the old members of the club? Yes, that's right. To think that this amazing spectacle occurred right here in my hometown, and the person who took the photograph was a member of the club to which I now belong. Even now, the thing that I thought was so far away has now become a lot closer. It still doesn't seem real somehow. I think that I felt something along the lines of, dude, that's amazing! Hold on a sec! Her face looked like she was about to say, I've just realized something really important. What is it? Did you just say that they flew the glider and took this photo? Yes, I did. That's what it says in the flight log. So that means... Actually, and I took another look at the photograph. Oops. If you wanted to take a photograph from above the clouds, at the very least, the camera would have to be in a position higher than the clouds. No shit. Did the glider actually fly this high? Well, yes. The physical evidence is right there in front of you. Regina and I turned to look at the white aircraft. I don't know how many meters it was. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know how many meters it was, but this wasn't just imagination. But when I picture actually flying this thing above the clouds, it looks kind of unreliable. Before I came to the school, the Soaring Club had already lost its status as a club, and all that was left of it was the equipment that was in here. The same goes for this photograph. It was also left here. Amane takes the photograph in her hand and squints her eyes with nostalgia. This is where Asuka wanted to go. Asuka and I wanted to go to this place, and that's why we started constructing the glider. Asuka. There's that name again. Whenever Amane says that name, she becomes very nostalgic. Who is this Asuka person? Here. While we were talking, Katori was listening quietly, but then held out a notebook to Amane. I thought I had seen it somewhere before. It was the notebook with the things I want to do list. Oh! The photo was inside. The photo was inside this. This is Asuka's flight log. Why do you have this? It was at the dormitory in my room. The dormitory in your room? Are you by any chance living in the Flying Fish Manor? A little surprised to hear that name all of a sudden, Katori nodded. It was hidden in the gap between the shelves. It looks like a diary. It looks like a diary inside. There are a few things about the glider and about you written in it. Me? Yes, maybe. You're Suga's close friend, aren't you? For some reason, Amanda didn't answer and looked at the worn cover of the notebook. I read this and then became interested in the gliders. Using only its wings, it uses the wind to fly across the sky in an aircraft that is just like a bird. To aim to fly above the clouds in something like that, I thought that was amazing. But I thought it was much farther back in the past. When I looked at the dates, I thought that Asuka and the others must have already graduated or something. I didn't think that it would still be going on now. But if you were interested in gliders, why didn't you come to check out the Soaring Club? I asked in a light-hearted manner. Actually, she's so interested in them that just looking at a real glider makes her eyes sparkle with wonder. The owner of the diary might not longer be around, though. That's well... Tori held tightly to the hem of her skirt. I didn't think they'd let me join. Katori! Listening to her words, I felt a pain coming deep from my right knee. Okay. Somewhere that she couldn't enter. My right knee? That's where she believed. That's why she didn't try to find out what the current status of the Soaring Club. It might have been similar to me after I injured my knee and tried to avoid hearing any information about the Cycle Racing Club. The more I knew, the more envious I would become. That's why I was surprised when I saw the glider flying over Windmill Hill. I was so excited I could feel my heart pounding. That was the time that Katori and I first met. That peaceful landscape, Katori watched the white aircraft flying over it with such enthusiasm. Really? When Amani heard Katori's story, she took a deep breath. Can I take a look? Yeah. Amani put the book on the table, but didn't read it straight away, and instead went to boil some water in the electric kettle first. Then she prepared the tea set. When the pleasant aroma of tea started to fill the air, Amani sat down and finally turned to the first page. Special cutscene thing. Her cheeks went slightly pink and her eyes seemed kind of nervous. Amane's eyes moved left to right across the page. Slowly, carefully. It felt to me that she was digesting it one letter at a time. She took a sip of the boiling tea. She placed the cup back on the saucer and then turned it to the next page. Ah! She began to smile. Maybe something fun was written there. She giggled as if she had become lost in memories. The nervousness that was in her eyes when reading the first page had disappeared. She's smiling. Yeah. It was a calm and happy smile. Yeah. Also the thought. Oh. Then looking at the next page, she opened her eyes wide. There must be something surprising written on that page. From the look on her face, she seemed taken aback as she continued to read. After that, Amana's expression continued to change as she turned the pages. She smiled, seemed surprised, looked troubled, appeared to be sulking, and then smiled again. Hey, what kind of things are written there? It's a record of the Soaring Club's activities. Well, I say that, but most of it is just a normal diary. It's about how Asuka spent every day with her best friend. It's written in really bad handwriting, so it's hard to read. Amane's best friend, huh? I wonder what sort of person Asuka was. Strange, probably. Playing tricks on people and surprising them, throwing pies in dormitory hiding hole. But when you read it, it had an effect on you, didn't it? Yeah. It seemed really fun. We could tell by the look on Amani's face that Asuka's look was full of funny stories. It was also proof that the time they spent together was equally fun. When she reached what was possibly the last page of the diary, Amani had tears in her eyes. As Amani smiled nostalgically, a clear drop ran down from the corner of her squinted eye. What's something sad written in there, I wonder? But she's smiling. The log stops halfway through. The last thing that was written there was... things I want to do. Shit, so where'd you find that? The page that we were looking at? I want to pass through the passage of cloud. Amane mumbled in a quiet voice before bursting into tears, while still smiling. She must have been smiling because she was happy. Then the tears must have been because it was all in the past. Just looking at her made me feel a terrible pain inside, like my chest was closing up. After reading the last page, she closed the notebook and then went back to the first page. This is now the third time. Even so, she reads it with the same happiness, surprise, worry, and nostalgia, as if she were reading it for the first time. We quietly watched her as she repeated this again and again. The tea that she has only taken one sip from would definitely be cold by now, but it looked like she had totally forgotten about it. Looks like we have no choice but to leave Toward for now. You're right. There are so many things I want to talk to her about, but it doesn't feel like now is a good time to speak. As we leave the garage, the sky is filled with the colors of sunset. With a deeper red than sunrise, the darkness of night approached from the eastern sky. The photo of the clouds was really pretty, wasn't it? Yeah. Will we go to that place? Ajia seemed to be saying, I'm itching to go. I felt the same way. Well then, I'm just gonna go and show my face to the rubber club. I'm in 2 clubs at once, but I don't go there every day. You don't seem that busy either. It should be okay, right? Even if she is also in another club, it's great that she's here. Sorry for all the trouble. No, it's fine, buddy. Bam! Ajia gives me a punch in the shoulder and turns around to Katori, who had left a little later but was following us. Katori! I'm sorry about yesterday. Pwah. Ajia bowed her head with great momentum. It's fine. I don't think you have anything to apologize for. I didn't know about your situation. Despite that, I spoke to you as if I knew what was going on. I'm really sorry. Katori glanced at me. She must have realized that I told Kajie about her wanting to quit school and so on. I'm glad you realized that. Katori turns her head sideways in an aloof manner as she speaks. I storm over towards Katori and whack. What the hell? Why do I keep assaulting this poor girl? Ouch! Oh! I gave her a karate chop to the top of her head. What are you doing? From now on, every time you take that kind of attitude, I'm going to give you a chop. Huh? Katori reeled back. Then she looked at me with eyes like a demon or an ogre. What gives you the right to do that? Come on now, you got something to say, haven't you? I'm sorry, I said too much. You don't kiss up to people, you're just kind to the point of it being annoying. Ano? Ano? I know, I don't know. Whack. Ah! Hey, that hurts, you know! If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't remember. She looked at me with anger in her eyes as she rubbed the top of her head. Did that sideways aloof face thing. She pushed her wheelchair along. Blah! Wow, I can't believe you could karate chop a pretty little girl like Katori. Ajia is a little stunned as she speaks. Yeah, I am too, buddy. What the hell? Well, then I'm off. You let her go out to Katori. Yeah, see ya. See ya. Ajia, who looks like she's skipping as she walks, turns to head towards the school building. But she stopped halfway. It looks like things will be interesting from tomorrow, she called out in the big voice. Nighttime or not? I caught up with Katori, who had a meek expression on her face, as she quietly pushed her wheelchair along. You want me to push you? No, I don't. I don't know how tiring it is to push a wheelchair along... Ugh, God, Facebook is distracting me. One sec. There we go. I don't know how tiring it is to push a wheelchair along, but if I tried to travel at the same distance I would normally walk by using my hands, I would definitely find it tiring. I went behind her and pushed the wheelchair. I said I don't want you to push me. I told you that I'd help you, didn't I? I'm not gonna do it all the time, but when my hands are empty, you can rely on me. But there's no reason to have you do that for me. Yes, there is. What's that then? Because we're friends. I felt a little embarrassed as I said that. I think that if I hadn't been facing her at her back at the time, I wouldn't have been able to have said that. Since when have we been friends? Yesterday, we were hanging out, weren't we? That means we're already friends, alright? Generally speaking, it wouldn't be incorrect to say so. Victoria stays tight-lipped and doesn't answer. For a while, we don't say anything as we follow the route back. Aren't you going to ask me why I decided to stay? I don't know if I wanted to ask or not. The main thing is the fact that you are staying. That withdrawal notice, could you hold on to it for a little while longer? Sure. She's not going to throw it away? It's me. This place is like the last bastion. I don't know if I can stay here indefinitely like a money, but I want to stay for a little longer. But sometimes I lose heart. I may not look like it, but I have a lot of worries. Seems like she's trying to say, I may be a tough girl, but... You look just like a crybaby. If I had said that, she'd just get mad, so I keep quiet. That's why I want you to hold on to it. Would that be okay? She suddenly seemed to lose her resolve, and she turns around to glance at me. Why me? That question comes to mind, but I don't say anything. I think the fact that it was me makes me quite happy, to be honest. That's fine, but I have one condition. What? Gittori puts her guard up. She looks as though she thinks I have another crazy demand to make. You talk to me like I'm a stranger. I want you to use my name more. Huh? You always refer to me as you or him, but I want you to call me Aoi. We're friends now. Will that be a problem? Do you think of me as your friend? I'm a little anxious as I ask her. No, that's not it. I'm just that you... No, I mean... Aoi. See? Oh. It seems weird. Please understand, she seemed to say as she bent forward. Katori, why do you find it so strange to use my name? Say my name. We don't know each other well enough to be on first name basis. Well, never mind. Come on, let's go, Miss Habane. It's okay if you don't mind. I don't mind if you call me Katori. Okay, let's go Katori. Katori made a look on her face that indicated a complex mix of emotions, awkward and shy at the same time. We'll definitely go there, above the clouds. Yeah. There are wispy clouds in the sunset sky. From now on, whenever we look up at the sky, we'll be thinking about this. I'm gonna fly. My heart was beating frighteningly quietly. Oh my god. Holy crap, woman. You want to pass through the passage of cloud, huh? That's what you always said, Asuka. Huh? It's dark. When did it become nighttime? Clatter. My tea's gone cold. Has everyone gone home? I didn't think I would be able to continue here. Asuka, you reached them, didn't you? You brought them here. Oh god, she's dead. Damn it. It looks like I can keep going. Just a little longer until the end of the summer. beast and the little wings which fly in the sky highly. What's gonna happen in this chapter, I wonder?